The midwife's sharp clap pierces the pre-dawn silence, marking your arrival into a world of steel and honor. It's the year of the dragon, but right now you're more mewling kitten than fierce warrior. Your father's disappointment is palpable, another mouth to feed during these tumultuous times. Welcome to feudal Japan, kid, where your entire life was planned before you could even crawl. Think helicopter parents are bad? Try samurai parents. By age 5, while other kids are out there having fun, you're learning how to sit still for hours. The family shrine visits are basically endurance tests. Try not to sneeze when the incense makes your nose itch, and definitely don't knock over those offerings. Oops. From your father's expression, you've just earned yourself 1,000 extra practice swings. Your first real test comes at age 6, the ceremonial first haircut. You've watched other children go through it, trying not to giggle at their stiff new top knots. But now it's your turn. Goodbye, childhood locks. Hello, instant adult hairstyle that makes your head feel like a poorly balanced spear. At least you get to wear hakama now, though nobody mentions how these traditional pants are basically a trip hazard with a side of embarrassment. Walking is now an extreme sport. Then comes age 7, when everything changes. Remember those cozy days at home? Yeah, those are over. Welcome to the dojo, kid. Your new home where comfort isn't in their vocabulary. Your new master's first lesson is how to sit properly. Yes, really. Hours upon hours in seiza position until your legs feel like they're being stabbed by tiny invisible ninjas. The older students make it look effortless. You make it look like you're sitting on hot coals while being attacked by wasps. Your first wooden sword feels like it weighs more than you do. They call it a bakken. You call it the implement of endless embarrassment. While other kids are playing with toys, you're learning that dropping your practice sword means doing squats until your legs give out. It's like the worst PE class ever, except it never ends and your teacher can literally cut a fly in half. For you, training is basically a greatest hits collection of ways to fail spectacularly. Slip on the dojo floor? That's a life lesson. Fall into another student? That's character building. Faceplant during a basic stance? Congratulations, you've just invented a new way to bow. Your sensei keeps saying, even great mountains were once small hills. You're pretty sure he made that up just to make you feel better. Winter brings a whole new level of, why did I have to be born a samurai? The dojo floor is cold enough to freeze your soul, but complaining? That's not very samurai of you. You learn to meditate while your toes turn into icicles. Think that's tough? Wait until you have to practice in full armor. It's like trying to fight inside a walking tin can that's actively trying to suffocate you. By 13, you get your first real sword. Everyone acts like it's this profound moment, but nobody warns you about the maintenance. One tiny spot of rust and suddenly you're dishonoring 8 generations of ancestors. The first time you clean it, you slice your own palm open. Sensei calls it a blood bond up with your blade. You call it, maybe we should have started with something less sharp, like origami. Then comes mounted archery. Imagine trying to thread a needle while riding a dolphin because apparently just regular archery wasn't hard enough. Picture this. You're trying to shoot arrows at targets while riding a horse that clearly thinks this whole samurai thing is hilarious. Your sensei strokes his chin thoughtfully and says something wise about patience. The horse just snickers. You're pretty sure they're both laughing at you. Congratulations, you've made it to your Genpuku ceremony. That's samurai speak for, now you get to suffer like an adult. They give you a new name, a new hairstyle, and enough responsibilities to make your previous life look like a vacation. Your childhood name is gone, replaced by something that probably means honorable warrior of virtue. In reality, you're still trying not to trip over your own sword. Your first armor fitting is like trying on a medieval Iron Man suit, minus the cool features. You'll get used to it, they say. Sure, just like you'll get used to walking around with what feels like a small village strapped to your body. Sitting down is now a Herculean task. Standing up? That's a whole Olympic event in itself. The craftsman keeps muttering about your unique build. Thanks, you guess? Then comes your first battle. All that training, all those elegant moves you practiced. And it's basically just organized chaos. Remember those graceful duels you imagined? Yeah, no. It's more like a mosh pit with sharp objects. Your sophisticated battle strategy quickly becomes, try not to die while looking somewhat dignified. But you can only manage one of those at a time. But wait, it gets better. Now you've got to navigate clan politics, which is like high school drama but with more swords. Every formal gathering is a minefield of potential insults. Drink tea wrong, political crisis. Bow at the wrong angle, another crisis. Sit in the wrong spot. Believe it or not, straight to crisis. You start to suspect the real enemy isn't rival clans, it's proper etiquette. Speaking of crises, here comes the marriage arrangement. Turns out your future wife is the daughter of a neighboring clan's warrior. The good news? She's skilled with a naginata. The bad news? She's really skilled with a naginata. Your first dinner together is less about romance and more about calculating how quickly she could take you in a fight. You decide to be extra polite with the table manners. Suddenly you're in charge of 20 samurai, all looking at you like you've got some grand master plan. But sadly, you don't. Your battle strategy is basically, try to look confident while panicking internally. Somehow it works, and now everyone thinks you're some kind of tactical genius. Fake it till you make it, samurai style. The best part about being a leader? Now when you mess up, it's not just your honor on the line, it's everyone's. No pressure. During one battle, your horse gets spooked by a butterfly, sending your perfect formation into chaos. But hey, the enemy was so confused by your unconventional tactics that you actually won. Sometimes failing upward is a legitimate strategy. Politics becomes your new battlefield, and let's be honest, you'd rather face an army than another tea ceremony. At least in battle, you know who's trying to kill you. In the council chamber, everyone's smiling while plotting your downfall over perfectly brewed green tea. Your wife, thankfully, turns out to be better at this game than you. That naginata practice apparently translates well to verbal combat. Then comes the fun part, training the next generation. Remember all those wise-sounding proverbs your sensei used to say? Now you're making them up on the spot. The bamboo that bends is more bendy than the one that doesn't. You can't believe they're actually writing this down. Age starts creeping up like a ninja with a grudge. Your legendary sword swing now comes with complementary joint pain. Young warriors still challenge you, but now you win through experience instead of strength. Or as you like to call it, strategic energy conservation. You're not getting slower, you're just becoming more efficient. At least that's what you tell yourself. One morning you catch your reflection in a polished blade. When did your top knot turn so silver? The new generation of samurai moves faster, hits harder, and somehow makes even more etiquette mistakes than you did. You watch them training, remembering when you were that eager young warrior who thought every problem could be solved with a sharp enough sword. If only back pain could be defeated through combat. A young hotshot challenges you to a duel. Great, he's probably been practicing since breakfast. You can barely touch your toes. But here's the thing about getting older. You've learned that the fastest sword isn't always the winning one. While he's busy showing off his fancy footwork, you end the match with a single well-timed move. The look on his face is priceless. How? He asks. You give him your most mysterious sensei smile and say something cryptic about bamboo and wisdom. Hey, you've earned the right to be annoyingly philosophical. Your last battle isn't against some legendary warrior or fearsome army. It's a quiet morning council meeting where you prevent a war by telling embarrassing stories about everyone's grandfathers. Turns out your greatest victory comes not from drawing your sword, but from knowing when to leave it sheathed. Plus, those blackmail-worthy tea ceremony mishaps you've collected over the years finally come in handy. They find you one morning in your garden, peaceful, your sword across your lap, finally mastering that perfect seiza posture you struggled with as a kid. Your last message to your students is not some profound teaching about honor or combat. It's simply this. The secret to being a great samurai isn't about mastering the sword. It's about surviving long enough to figure out that most problems don't actually need one,